The fifth form of abundance is imagination or inspiration, whatever you wish to call it. Because the idea is that when you allow imagination, which is the conduit of communication between your physical and higher mind, to be open and functioning in a balanced way, imagination and inspiration provides you with a new idea, new paths, new information that you can use to perhaps change your course or do something you didn't think of doing before that may actually be more representative of your true path. So, the idea of money, the idea of trade, the idea of gift giving, the idea of synchronicity, and the idea of your imagination are 5 major forms of abundance that exist in your reality. But the idea, again, is that for most people on your planet, they close the doors to almost everything except the idea of money, except that particular expression, thinking that that really doesn't necessarily get you what you need. But very often it can actually be the path of least resistance, those other 4, that can give you what you need and support you even more quickly sometimes than the idea of money. But this is fundamentally how it works. When you are acting on your passion, whatever it is you need at that moment for support in some form that allows you to continue to act on your passion will come usually in a combination of the 5 forms. Sometimes it may be 2, sometimes 3 or 4, but a combination of forms. It doesn't always have to come in just one way, in just one of the forms. Very often it actually works more efficiently if you will be open to allowing all of the forms to come in when and how they need to work together to create the support that you need. So sometimes you may suddenly find yourself getting a little bit of money, and then a synchronicity will add itself to it, or a gift will add itself to it, or you will be inspired by something that will add to your ability, or you'll be able to trade something that will add to your ability to do what you need to do when you need to do it. The idea is to allow the proportions and the ratios to come in to form the 100% version of abundance that you need, but that 100% may be made of a little bit of this and a little more of that and a little bit of that. Let it come in that way, because that is usually representative of the easiest way, the path of least resistance for you. And when you open up to all the forms of abundance, things can happen in a much more accelerated way. When you have belief systems that create resistance to the idea of opening up to the other forms, you slow everything down by insisting that it can only happen this way, and I can only do this if this happens in this way. Then you're actually slowing down the process by which you might actually have been capable of doing whatever that is much more quickly and much more easily. Is this making some sense? So allow yourself, as you go through life and as you act on your passion to the best you can, with no insistence or assumption on the outcome. Please remember that third part of the formula, which many of you sometimes conveniently forget. I'm acting on my passion, I'm acting on my passion, I'm acting on my passion. And this had better happen, and this had better happen, and this had better happen, or something's wrong. That's not the formula. When we say act on your passion to the best you can, taking it as far as you can until you can take it no further, the implication in that statement is very clear. There will be moments when you will not be able to take it further in that way. That's not a block. It is an arrow pointing in an unexpected direction that is actually more representative of your true path. Let yourself go with the flow. Remember, sometimes many of you think that the path of least resistance is straight and true and short. Not always. In fact, not often. The idea is that sometimes the path of least resistance may be a very winding path, because it may need to get some experience under your belt. It may need to allow you to have a meeting over here with someone you hadn't met before. It may direct you over here to a bit of information that you require, so that you will have a deeper appreciation when you wind up wherever it is you are winding up by having gathered the things you needed on the way. That path is your path of abundance. The path of least resistance is the path of greatest abundance, greatest synchronicity, greatest allowance, greatest giving, greatest imagination, all of it. The idea being that even though some paths may look very short and very straight, if it's not your path of least resistance, it will actually take longer to travel that path than one that seems longer and winding, because the path of least resistance will offer no resistance. You will be able to move on that path much more quickly than a shorter path that has nothing to do with you, because that shorter path will be full of things that you will experience as resistance to slow you down, to indicate to you it's not your path. So even a longer path may get you where you're going much faster if it is your true path. And this also allows abundance to work more effectively for you in all of its forms, because then you will be in alignment with who you are. When we talk about the idea of being on your path, we remind you that this is just a euphemism. In other words, you're not on a path. You are a path. You are a unique expression of all that is. You are the experience itself that you are having. The idea is that all of your physical reality isn't outside you, it's within you. You are having that experience, you're projecting it within yourself, you're creating that experience within your consciousness. It is who and what you are as a unique representation and a unique reflection of creation, of existence, of all that is. So when you allow all forms of abundance to support you, then you allow yourself to truly take advantage of that particular tool in the kit of passion, because it contains very specific tools that will propel you through life in the most advantageous and joyful way. When you follow the formula of acting on your passion to the best you can, taking it as far as you can until you can take it no further, and you do this with absolutely no insistence or assumption as to where you're supposed to wind up, as we have told you before, you open up that kit that contains the driving engine of your life. It moves you through life very quickly because you are so excited to do what it is that excites you. You find the energy, it comes to you. It becomes the organizing principle of synchronicity. That means it brings you the opportunities that contain the highest excitement in the order in which you need to act on them. And whatever it is you didn't have time to do at the end of the day when you're excited about going to sleep, you didn't need to do that day. It is that organizational. It also is, as we have said, the path of least resistance that allows you to flow through life very rapidly, very effortlessly. It is the path that connects you to all expressions of your excitement in life, because there may be many. But it all interconnects. And if you follow that thread of excitement, you will see how they all interrelate and interconnect to get you where you need to go. Notice I keep saying where you need to go, not necessarily where you want to go, because that can sometimes be misleading. There may be times when what you want and what you need may be synonymous, but very often when you hold on to negative and fear-based belief systems, and sometimes you make choices out of desperation or fear, even unconsciously, what you want or think you need by wanting it is not necessarily what you actually need to be fulfilled.